Hey everyone, this is Zach with Achilles Financial. We are back with another video reviewing the stock market bloodbath. This is the Dow and Nasdaq plummeting day, and it's the worst day since June, and this is completely overblown, everyone. We've been talking about this for the upcoming weeks, that essentially what's going on right now is completely overblown. There's really no cause for concern. And even though when we look at the market today, we say, man, we're down so much, nearly 3.3% on the SPY, I just want to remind everyone that we're where we were at like 2 weeks ago. I mean, it's been a week and a half. We're at all-time highs. It's 345, and we've been on a tear for the past 5.5 months. I mean, if you look at the chart right here, we were at 230 at one point, lower than that. We were at a low point of 218 at one point. And we're complaining because we just had a sell-off. Everything sold off today. I mean, there were a lot of winners, and this goes into the fact that yesterday, again, we kind of talked about who's going to be left holding the bag. And it was not us today. Again, this is another day where we continued climbing higher. So that's one of the things that I'm going to continue to emphasize and continue to work on, is you've got to be able to manage that portfolio, and you can't go all in on some of these tech stocks, because when that happens, you just get blown out of the water. Even my pride and joy, Nvidia, they just got absolutely brutalized today, and you can see that here. But you've got to remember, especially on Nvidia, let me show you the one-day chart right here. When we're looking at Nvidia right here, again, on the day, they just got absolutely hammered right here, just at the beginning, and then it just continued downwards all freaking day, and we're still on SPY. When we look at Nvidia right here, they just got absolutely hammered today. I mean, we're looking at essentially one of their worst days in probably potentially all time, maybe all the way back to that blowout at the beginning of the year. But you got to remember, this is where they were to start the week last week. Like, we're complaining, hey, Nvidia's down 10%, but they were just at 585. Like, it's not a really big deal for them in terms of the overall staying power of the stock. I mean, again, we just had this on a three-month loop. If we look at this, they've been absolutely killing it. Again, I still have long-term faith in Nvidia. I think we're okay. I added to my positions today in Pfizer, FTAI, and as you can see, we kind of depleted that cash position right here to buy those shares. We've purchased some more shares here, purchased some more shares there. And then you can see on Snapchat, we're down about $10 today on a call that I made at the end of the day. But if we look at this, we're actually still doing pretty well on the actual after hours movement there. So I am still confident on the plays right now, still confident on the portfolio. I think we're in a comfortable spot. So the next question is going to be, therefore what? So what is happening right now? What is happening tomorrow? Why are we up? So you got to remember that one of the big movers that happened today, and we profited off that trade early, was the bank stocks. And right now the bank stocks, they started out good. We had a very positive jobs number this morning, but we did have some expected news yesterday from the Fed during their beige book saying, hey, we think this is going to be a longer road to recovery. There's all this back and forth. I'm still bullish on the jobs numbers that we heard today. I am bullish on the jobs report that's going to come out tomorrow morning. And when I say tomorrow morning, I mean Friday, September 4th. So this video is being recorded after market close on Thursday, August 3rd. But we've got time. We need to be able to see what's going to happen here and what's going to come about as a result of this. But this was just a broad market sell-off. If you're a long-term investor, you can't be worried about this. You need to stay the course, steady plodding, continue to accrue valuable stocks that you think are going to continue to grow, and make sure you have some of that diversity in your portfolio. Maintain that cash balance. So one of the things that I did today is I was able to purchase a lot because I've been maintaining that cash balance. So let's go look at kind of the trades that I've made over the past 2-3 days. So as you can see, I've been very active, and I'm just going to leave these up here, but we closed out some of those Nvidia spreads. We closed out the AMD spreads. And as you can see, this hasn't been just like consistent wins, but we have done very well on both the Snap calls as well as the JP Morgan calls this morning. And then we went and we invested all of that money back into shares, and those shares are available here on the screen. You can see I bought Pfizer. You can see I bought a series of Fortress Transportation and Infrastructure because, again, these are all very good dividend stocks, but I'm looking at the growth potential as well. I'm not just targeting a safe dividend. I want my money to go out and work for me. So because of that, I do anticipate that we're going to continue to do very well. I mean, we've essentially doubled this portfolio in a week. So what we're looking at here, again, just over when we look at the cash balance here, this was the 822. We were at $1,600, and now we're all the way up to $2,730. I'd like to see this at 3,000 by the end of the week, but we really need Snapchat to go off tomorrow, and I just don't think that that's going to happen personally. But the goal of this and the idea behind this is, what are next steps? How can we continue to move forward? And I really want to emphasize that you can't get down on a single day. Have to do that steady plotting. If anything, I think a lot of stocks are on sale. I did purchase more today, and I would encourage you to do the same and just continue to get that dollar cost averaging set in there. You've got to do steady plotting for these investing approaches, and we're not always going to have a market balance where you've got the entire market goes up consistently for 3 weeks straight, and essentially SPY is up nearly 50% from the March lows. So you have to remember, just keep steady investing. What I have invested in today is we are looking at those Pfizer calls, or not the calls, but rather the shares. I'm buying value stocks that I think will continue to grow long term. Depending on what happens tomorrow, I may purchase more. And the reason for that is because I do value the capability to get paid to wait. And I think that this is an excellent opportunity if you're a new investor to get back into a red hot market. Just be aware that just because the stock has been going up doesn't mean it's going to continue to go up. Tesla is an example of that. Apple is an example of that. Again, both good companies, but all of tech is so overvalued. You just have to be able to evaluate, is this going to consistently stay at that high value? That's why you'll notice my portfolio here on this platform is very much not tech based. And the reason for that is because I like to do a lot of tech options, but my underlying portfolio is largely growth stocks that mix value as well as dividend income. So I'm a huge fan. One of the things that I'd like to just highlight right here is this is a portfolio that we've kind of grown just consistently over the past 2 months. And I know that I'm not going to retire off of dividends, but it's still pretty cool just to be able to look at this and be able to say, hey, I can make $130 a year, and that's regardless of the share price. So right now the average dividend is very healthy. I want that to continue, and I want this to continue purchasing stocks for me. And this is one of the cool things that you can do on TD Ameritrade. So check it out. I highly encourage this. Continue to invest, stay the long term. Don't let headlines that are just trying to grab your attention dissuade you from investing. If anything, I think now is an interesting buy point. If you found this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks. I'll talk to you all later.